Hey, so it's time for game number 5 of this Road to IM series, and as you can see, it's probably gonna annoy a lot of people, but I'm gonna try out these 3D pieces for the first time. And basically, I was playing on the aeroplane, and this was the style of pieces that they used, and it was a really fun game. It was like some I can't remember the name of it, but it was like, I don't know, some like kind of championship style game, and like you just like beat the players to get to the top, and like the standard was actually really good. But yeah, the pieces were like 3D, and I don't know, I really liked it, and I felt like I was playing like more real kind of chess. Mm. Also, regarding my chess in general, I recently played at the San Diego Chess Club in a Blitz tournament, and I was doing really, really well. Uh, Playing against some really tough opponents, and I was actually completely beating this 2300 player. I was like a piece and 2 pawns up him, and I just lost focus, and he got a fair amount of counterplay and just ended up beating me. But yeah, that was really fun, and hopefully I can go back someday. Anyway, let's talk about this. So, as you can see, we've got a symmetrical on the board, and okay, he's played this d5 variation, which I kind of like because it makes the position less symmetrical. Now I've got to try and remember what I do against this. Like, if he tries to play e6, b6, then maybe it can go into a setup I know, but he's got to move g6 on the board, so it's kind of different already. I do want to consider the line where I don't castle and play h4. I don't know if you remember my first or second video where I looked at that in this kind of d5 setup. But I'm not sure if I can transpose to it so easily because... I think I should normally take, and then I play d3 and I can... Okay, I can try this. I basically play a more reverse Sicilian kind of setup. Sicilian dragon, that is. So my idea here is to bring my knight out, put my bishop on d2, queen on c1, don't castle and play h4, h5, and see what happens. Right, now the only problem is that I've been kind of careless because I can't play knight c3 here because I just lose a pawn at the very least. That's rather frustrating. And I can't play bishop d2 because I lose the b2 pawn. So I've kind of screwed myself over a little bit. So let's see if I can recover. So yeah, I don't really want to be playing queen c2 because I want to put my queen on c1. Okay. Can try playing e4. Gives up this d4 square though. Yeah, I don't like it at all, and like knight b4, and then maybe this d3 pawn is slightly bad. Well, already screwed myself over slightly. Let's think. I don't know how I can solve this problem. Maybe I have to play queen c2, but it's not nice. I don't know how I got a better position in the past. By better position, I mean like the setup I'm thinking about. I guess the move order is slightly different, so I can't get these moves in. Maybe I should be playing knight c3 earlier. But okay, let's... This isn't the only setup I have to go for. Maybe I can castle instead, and then get a decent game. Okay, I'm burning a lot of clock on this opening position. I really don't want a castle. Maybe I can be really bad and play h4. It feels awfully premature. I guess he can play h5, which is why I want to play the bishop d2, queen c1, and put a bishop on h6 first. I just want to try and get this set up without losing too much tempi. It's probably not even a good setup, to be honest. But it's kind of my kind of chess. I need to come up with a different plan, because this is clearly not going to cut it. Maybe I can afford to waste the tempo with like queen c2. The idea being that I am at least hitting this c5 pawn, so maybe I have to waste time defending it, and then okay, so spent a good 20% of my time on that move. But yeah, basically I should be a lot more careful and do a bit of calculating in the opening, like before playing bishop d2 even. Maybe I should be considering like what happens after d5 and how I'm not going to be able to achieve the setup I want. Okay, so he's just castled. So now I can play my knight c3. Or I could play bishop d2. I think knight c3 looks better. I don't wanna take this c5 pawn. That seems far too greedy. So we'll continue like this. I guess one annoying thing about this position is I can't swivel my knights. I mean, not position as in these pieces. Can't swivel my knights to face inwards. So this idea from white with playing bishop d2, queen c1, h4, h5. Well, bishop d2, queen c1, bishop h6, h4, h5. I had a look on it on the computer, and a lot of the top players, like GMs, that actually get a result in this kind of position. They kind of do this idea, even though the computer says it's about equal. Now I'm actually thinking here, maybe I've been sloppy again. After knight c3, maybe knight b4 is a good move. Now I don't have taking on c5 to harass the knight. Exactly. And if I play bishop d2 last move, then I could play queen c1 in response to this. So again, a sloppy move from me, which is very frustrating. Okay, but we can go to... It's really annoying. That's two bad moves in a row. Okay, so it's not the end of the world though. Like, compared to other systems, like I can probably get away with a few sloppier moves here. But maybe I should just play it safe at this point and just castle. So I've lost quite a few tempi. Also note how this bishop on g2 is eyeing on this b7 square, so if the bishop ever moves, then maybe I've got some tactics. I feel like the knight isn't terribly great on b4. I do feel like I'm seeing more of the 3D pieces, but I don't know. So now, do I want to play a3 or not? I feel like this knight is not necessarily, like, I don't really want to, like, improve the knight's position, because right now my bishop on g2 has, like, more potential on this long diagonal, and if I play a3, maybe the knight can reroute to c6, and, like, maybe the knight is better placed there, or it can just move back to d5. Are there any strong moves for him? I feel like, you know, he can just develop a piece. It's probably okay. Exactly. So now, do I continue my plan or do I try and play a bit safer? I guess I could play bishop e3 as opposed to d2 to hit this c5 pawn and hope he panics a bit, maybe tries to defend it, waste some time playing a move like that. He could as well though play knight d4 in that instance, and you know I can't take with a knight because pawn takes and he's forking my two pieces. So maybe bishop d2 is the better bet. Because I don't really know what to do against knight d4. And like after bishop d2, knight d4, then I can take his knight. Yeah, I mean like, not castling is kind of a sin, but I'm trying to get something from this position. So yeah, let's develop like this. I mean, maybe playing a3 is a good idea. Just yeah, because now if this knight moves, then if I play a3, then this knight can move back to c6, and then maybe his pieces are more harmonious. If I play a3 now, then maybe he's forced to go back to knight a6, and has to then another move, moving to knight c7, before he can continue. So he's wasting another move of his knight before he can get his knight to a better position. Also, having the pawn on a3 isn't, you know, is probably better than having it on a2. So maybe I should have done that as well. Seeing a lot of things in hindsight. Okay. So now this makes me want to play a3. Yeah, let's do it. It does make this b3 square slightly weak, but I can't see how he exploits it. And maybe in some lines I can play b4 and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, because if b3 then maybe his knight can hop in. It's more annoying. But his knight can hop in anyway in this position with a knight here, and then he's still threatening stuff like this, so it's hard to say. Yeah, let's play a3. I wonder what the computer says. Still plan is queen c1, queen h6, h4, h5. Maybe also, like, in chess, you shouldn't be so fixated on a setup, and you should try and play the position more. For instance, like here, like, I think if I just castle, I've got a fine position. I should probably stick to principles. Like, what was it, game 2 or 3, where I decided to not castle, and, well, I tried to castle, but I try and be clever with my moves, and I get caught up completely in the center, and I get checkmated in the center because of this. And I'm wondering now, like, can he even, like, sacrifice on d3? Does he have any chances with that? But I'd say I'd fancy my chances. Like, I think I'm fine if he tries that. Wow. Incredible. Okay, so firstly, you know, I can't move this pawn or take this pawn because my queen is pinned. Secondly, it's always worth considering, okay, his piece is hanging. What happens if I take the piece? I take his piece, what can he do? If he takes my pawn, then I'm playing e4. I'm cutting out this bishop, and this pawn is blockaded. If I take this knight, knight takes. I'm going to play e4. Then I'm going to put pawn here. He can bring his knight in check. I play king f1. I'm going to slowly swap off the pieces. Yeah, I feel like I can calculate later, like, surely this doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced, unless I'm missing something very obvious. Right. So here I feel like e4 is right. Maybe d4 first. Oh, obviously I can't because my queen is pinned. So I kind of just want to shut out that pin with a move like e4 and give up this pawn. Very interesting idea from him though. I feel like everything is pretty well protected. Is this the best way? Is there any way I can do anything better? Maybe like a move like knight e4, blocking the pin, attacking his knight. If I go knight e4, then he can take this pawn with his pawn. If I take his knight, he takes my knight. I don't know if I like that. I feel like e4 is the obvious move. Like, I'm considering like knight attacking the bishop, force the bishop off that pin, and then I can like knight h4 looks pretty decent actually. So knight h4 just good. Followed by recapturing here, and I'm covering all the crucial squares. I do see some ideas that you can try, but I think this is okay. So after like maybe pawn takes, knight takes bishop, you can go knight c2 check, king f1, takes my rook. Then I can take his bishop perhaps. He can escape, I can't escape, so maybe after that I should just take his knight. He takes my knight. I think I've got 2 pieces for a rook at that point. Maybe that's his best bet. Yeah, definitely an interesting try from him, but I don't think it's okay because like I know all my pieces are developed, everything's guarding each other. Like, yes, my king is in the center, but I think I should be okay. So let's say he just moves back bishop e6, guarding his c4 pawn. What's my plan? I've got a discovered attack on this knight if I want it. If I ever take this pawn, then okay, so he's tried this. I feel like I have to play knight takes. I can try e4. But then no, he's still checking, so I feel like this is my best bet. It'd be a shame if I'm miscalculating something here. But okay, let's try this. I'm conscious of my lack of time as well. Aha, so he recaptured there. Okay, so why can't I just take the pawn? And if he checks, I go to king f1. What's the problem? I mean, he can take on f2, and then my bishop's hanging. I can also go to king e2. So then I can move my rook to f1 if he attacks it. Yeah, let's just take this. This looks okay. So if knight takes, I think king e2, forcing the knight to move again. If he takes my f2 pawn, I can play rook f1. And I think I'm just up material. Am I not? King e2, can he guard his knight again? I don't think so. And I'm threatening to win the knight. And I can even manual castle if I need to. Yeah, like, he has no light squared bishop, so my light squared bishop looks very powerful right now. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you noticed the time suddenly jumped forward, it's because I keep stopping and starting the video to improve the sound quality. But yeah, anyway. So here, you know, I considered some different moves he can play, but I feel like by that stage Miriam played rook e1, king f1, king g1, manual castle, just make sure everything's safe. Probably play rook d1 is better so my bishop is guarded. That would be pretty bad if I just blundered that. But I don't know, I think I'm pretty safe here. What's the material like? So I'm +1, so yeah, I think rook f1 is key here. Okay, so he's won back a lot of pawns. But, you know, I'm doing stuff. Okay, rook f1 looks good. Oh, oh no, okay, it doesn't have that. I was thinking, wait, queen d3 check? But then, like, I just take it with my queen, so I'm predicting knight g4 to attack this pawn, but then okay, he just does that. I don't see why I can't just swap off, win a pawn back. Maintain a pawn up, piece advantage. His kingside looks weak. I get my king safe. What's the problem? I think knight g4 is more pressing, but I think I still had good moves. Maybe like queen takes f5. But yeah, here, why am I considering bishop takes? Like, why not just knight takes as well? It's good. Knight takes, pawn takes, and bishop takes, and I've got this queen bishop battery on this pawn. Oh, that looks very strong. This looks almost winning. Yeah, that looks like knight takes, and then if he recaptures bishop takes, and like there's hardly any defense. Okay, so he's just pre-moving. Bishop takes looks terribly strong, so let's go with this. So now I've got the bishop pair raining down his king. He has no g6 pawn, so this h7 weakness is very weak. He can't even play moves at f5 because I've got a rook on f1, bishop, queen. I don't know what he's got. I can't see anything. I mean, like, this pawn is probably going. But, you know, if I take here, king h8, it's not like the end of the world. But I'm going to slowly bring my pieces over and try and cause havoc. I am slightly wary of my king's safety. I will probably try and reroute to g2. Maybe I can put my rook and queen on a better square. Maybe my rook can play to a5 and h5. That would be a nice maneuver to just bring all of my pieces into the attack, because that's something I've been studying recently, that for an attack to be successful you really do need all of your pieces to be involved. So rook a5, rook h5 is definitely a nice idea that I'm thinking of as well. So here I feel like I just want to take the pawn, check, king h8, and then maybe like rook a5. Like I don't, and you know, if he tries to check me, then I can just maybe, I don't know where to hide my king, but I feel like I can hide it somewhere. Maybe I should play it safe and just play king f2, king g2 first. But if I ever play king g2, king f2, then he does have f5. Hey, this can't be bad. Like, I'm winning a pawn, if anything. I can, after this I can play like bishop f5 as well to gain a tempo on the queen. Like, I don't know. This has to be okay. But yeah, like the only thing he's got going for him is that my king safety is pretty weak. Maybe queen e4 looks good as well, if queen b5 check to e1. I don't really know. Yeah, queen e4, and if like rook d8 then rook d1. And I'm bringing my queen to h, and then how does he defend? I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to play it. I'm really not fussed if a move like bishop takes b2, because I want to move my rook out from a1 anyway. Maybe play rook a5. Looks good. And just swing all my pieces to the king side. Like, I feel like his king isn't holding this. It can't. Now I'm thinking of hiding my king just in the center. Just maintaining. As long as my king can stay safe, then I'm not worried about him being loads of pawns up, because I think his king side is just way too weak. So my plan is queen h4 directly right now, just winning. So queen h4 threatening, bishop to g6, check, king moves, queen to h7, checkmate. Right. So I can't play queen h4 now because then he takes my bishop on d2. So I'm really thinking of just playing rook to d1 here. I can't see this being bad. Rook d1, guard that weakness. What if a move like, I don't know, bishop h6 here or something? Do I need to be worried? Okay, so he's trying this. So I was thinking of just dropping back to rook e1 is fine. I don't know. Sorry, king e1. I mean, what is he really doing? My next move, I'm playing queen h4, moving my bishop and mating. So I guess if he plays queen h5 to try and control that. Oh wow, so he's really going. I feel like queen h5 and I need to make a rook move of some sort, but wait, why isn't this just winning? Queen h4 here. How does he defend this? He's not threatening anything. Even if he takes my bishop, I'm just mating in 2. I don't see a way out for him after queen there. Yeah, no, I don't see anything. Okay, let's just play it. So after queen h4, you can't play moves like queen f6 to try trade because my rook is covering that square. Unless I'm missing like a mate in 1 or something, which is highly possible. The idea being if queen e5 check, then I've just got bishop e4 blocking, checking, and threatening mate in 1. So, yeah, I think this is GG. But yeah, definitely I could have improved on this game a lot. There were like waste of tempo with my queen jumping to c2, b1, c1, all sorts. I mean, it really helped that my opponent decided to sacrifice prematurely, and I think it was definitely a mistimed sacrifice. And from there, I'm pretty happy with how I dealt with things. So let's just double check. I think bishop e4 blocking and checking. I don't see a defense. And now I'm just mating. So yeah, it was nice that all of my pieces got involved with the defense as well as the attack. So yeah, I'll keep recording because obviously the game's not over and I don't know how long it will take. But if you want to skip forward to the post-game analysis, that would be great. And yes, he resigned. Okay, back to 1800. And hopefully 2400 soon. Anyway, I'll see you then. Okay, so let's talk about the game. The game started off with a symmetrical Sicilian, and here black played this d5. Now, in one of my previous videos, I think either in number 1 or 2 of my Road to IM series, we look at the idea of playing h4, h5 with the bishop on d2 to queen on c1, and that's in positions where black has played both d5 and g6. Now in this position I try and get to that ideal structure, but I realized that after d3 and bishop g7, you know, I can't play bishop d2 because I'm losing on the b2 pawn. I can't play knight c3 because he's got two pieces attacking it. So I'm one tempo slow to get this ideal setup because he's played d5 so quickly. Now, after a lot of like looking into different lines, like I was looking into queen c2 instead of d3, perhaps queen a4 check, but what I found was the most concrete line was actually just d4, and I give it an exclam because in fact the computer, the best line it gives is to play bishop g7 and just give up this pawn, and it's not even like he's winning it back. Like after castles, knight a6, then I've got moves like knight g5 with a double attack on the knight, so he's forced to defend the knight or move it, and then I can reroute my knight to e4, and I'm now guarding the pawn. Maybe I'm coming to d6, and this is just a very strong position for me. So I think it's just one of those positions to remember where d4 is actually really good here. Like the computer doesn't say it's doing that well, but I mean, you know, maybe a more human move after c takes d4, after d4, sorry, would be to just take the pawn, in which queen takes is just very strong because, you know, black hasn't played bishop g7 in time because he's played this premature d5, and I think white's got a lot of play in this position. Like, I'd be happy to be white. So I think that's something to note, which I've written here. Against this very early d5 before bishop g7, then I can indeed take and play d4. But yes, going back to the game, so I instead played d3, and I had to waste the time for playing queen c2. And in my video I noted that after knight b4, you know, I can just take on c5. Wrong. If I take on c5, due to the active knight controlling many light squares and the active bishop controlling many dark squares, black can play knight to a6, guarding his knight, attacking my queen, and he can develop another piece controlling more light squares, and what you see is that my queen is pushed away to the king side, where it can no longer guard against moves like knight c2, winning the rook and the game. So queen takes c5 is actually an atrocious blunder, and here instead I should be playing the move queen to d1. So it's just interesting to note how like pawn grabbing can really go wrong when you're getting your piece out early and your opponent's pieces are covering many crucial squares, and you can quickly attack queen and gain tempi. So in the game, queen c2, luckily knight b4 wasn't played and he just castled, in which I developed another knight c3, knight b4, queen b1. Here, yeah, definitely a3 was an option, and then play bishop d2. I think I like that more because, you know, after bishop d2 it is a line where black can play knight d4 and then perhaps reroute the knight to c6, like this is suggested by the computer as well. So I think a3 would be slightly more accurate. After bishop f5, then a3, and now black blundered with the move c4, but in many lines black does actually get very good counterplay, and I managed to find probably the strongest line that keeps my position intact. So after c4 I took the knight, and after knight takes b4, knight h4 was the correct line. I'm just wondering, so after knight takes b4 I was considering taking on d3, I believe, and then I was thinking of playing e4, so I just want to see what Komodo has to say about that. Okay, so e4 is definitely a consideration, knight h4 is also a line. Yeah, I don't know, e4 feels right as well, so yeah. Okay, anyway, back to the game. So knight takes b4, definitely a good try. Like, I had a look at e4, which is what I was considering at first before I spent another second, and I do this a lot actually. I fixate on one line and I forget to look at alternatives, but I am trying to improve on that, which I did. So instead of playing e4, which would have given him complete compensation after knight takes d3 and check, and the bishop, okay, so it's suggesting bishop takes c3, or even just moving this bishop, and black is doing okay. He's definitely not a piece down by any means. So instead of e4, knight h4 is a much better move. And after takes, then I took here, and here this was great, and king e2 was again an only move, otherwise black is getting play. And the reason being is after knight takes f2, I've got this rook f1, apparently queen takes f5 is also possible. Sorry about this. Yeah, so, but I think rook f1 is the neatest way to play. If knight g4, I have this queen takes f5, and, you know, my pieces are just all attacking black's kingside. So, it actually suggests knight e4 is the best try for black, but I mean, practically it doesn't seem very good. Like, I just swap off and look at my pieces just attacking black's kingside. And here, this is all very accurate. Queen f5 would have been slightly more accurate. And if a swap off happens, then basically, even with the queens off, black's kingside is definitely very shaky. And white can still mount an attack on the king with something along these lines. So, and you know, white is of course a piece up. So even if the attack fails, then I don't know, I think white's definitely doing okay. But here, queen e4, the point was that after rook a d8, rook a d1, queen b5, king e1, he's got one resource, which is rook to d4. And here my only move is queen c2, and now he plays queen h5, and then slowly my pieces are being pushed away, and my king is still kind of like vulnerable in the center, which is why I think swapping queens, although his king is weak, my king is also weak, so swapping queens is definitely worth considering. Like in the game I suggested instead of queen takes b2, perhaps queen h5 was a move, but after bishop f5, you know, I'm going to be trading queens and I'm just a piece up, and his king is very weak. You know, I'm bringing my rook to f5 perhaps. I don't know if I've got anything. Let's see exactly how white would capitalize on a position like this if black were to trade queens, because it's not exactly clear. But like after something like this, then yeah, rook f5. No, we want rook f5. Yeah, I don't know, let's say rook here. Maybe he wants to double up. Oops, sorry. Maybe he wants to double up on the d-file, attack the bishop, seems quite a human move. But now it's suggesting rook f4 to do even more trades. That's interesting. Rook h5 check is also an idea. I guess it's not as clear as I thought. Like, you don't have any crushing attack. But I guess like rook f4. And if he takes, then we're simplifying, and I guess like he's got these passed pawns, but because I've got the bishop pair, I can really use my light squared bishop to gather up these pawns, I believe. So like rook d5 for starters. And if a6, I give a check, king g8, bishop f3, then I'm probably going to come to b7. Yeah, if you look at this line, bishop b7 to come, and I'm winning the a6 pawn, and I do gather up the pawns, I think. just to play that out for the viewers. Check, king here, bishop here. You know, if the rook moves, I guess, what if the rook moves to, okay, it can't move to b8 because it's in line with the bishop, so basically wherever he moves, this is coming and a pawn is being dropped. So apparently black can try push this pawn far, see what happens. But I guess that's the thing, you know, white is controlling the light squares, and you know, after bishop e4, how is he going to promote? Like if he tries rook c1, king d1, and basically white is in time to stop this threat, and my rook is going to get back, and as long as I make sure I keep my 2 remaining pawns, I should be able to convert this to a victory. But instead, my opponent made it a lot easier by playing queen takes b2, which was just completely lost after queen h4, and there's really no defense. So yeah, that was a very nice game, I thought. Some pointers to note about the opening, about this premature d5, premature because the bishop is not on g7, and it allows me to play a move like d4 and take with the queen and instantly gain play and exploit the fact that this bishop hasn't developed. And I think it's just important that when your opponent plays a sacrificial move, it's really important you calculate all the lines very carefully and avoid any chances of counterplay from your opponent, and that's the best way to go about dealing with the sacrifice. So again, I hope you enjoyed and learnt something from this video. I sure as hell did, and I'll see you next time.